Well, good morning. It's time to change the fuel filters, and when I say filters, it takes two fuel filters for the Powerstroke 6.0. This is the F350 2007. Now keep in mind, you have a fuel filter right here, and it's a small one, and then you've got one inside on the fuel pump on the fuel rail, and I'm going to show you where that one is located at. And there's the small filter. There's your big one that goes in the fuel rail. And of course it comes with the new gaskets as well. Keep in mind, some of your auto parts store ones, they will have, you'll see just this right here. In other words, there's not another cover that goes around it. It's some kind of fibrous lining that goes around it. And then there's the weep hole that you see right there under the plastic. And that weep hole is important to get the full use of the filter when you put it into place. Now, you can go and get the Ford Motor Company one and spend a lot of money on these. I ordered these off of eBay, very inexpensive. I'm going to share the number with you. I buy a couple at a time, but JDM Speed Motor. Of course it says oil filter, but it's a fuel filter. There's the part number right there. Check them out, because if you go to the auto parts store and you look at that filter and it's missing that additional layer, I don't think they're as good. Now, something on my truck, I have this transfer tank, and it was last year I got water in the fuel, and so I'm going to show you how I changed the fuel filter, how I did that procedure. I'm changing at 10,000 miles on my fuel filter, but this is a real handy tool made by Cobalt, 24 piece. There's that little plug that we're going to take out, and it's a T40, okay? And this is a ratchet, so you don't have to take it off and turn it. This will fit right into this to be able to ratchet that plug out. Now, the cap on that filter is a 36 metric, and so you see a number of long extensions I'm going to use to bypass. It's very difficult to get back up into this filter, and you got to put your extensions and work from way back to get that. I do have my blue shop towels, my latex gloves, and then a drain pan. So let's crawl underneath the truck, and as you can see, I take 4x4s, drive my truck so I can get my fat belly up underneath this truck to do this work. So let's take a look exactly what I'll be working on underneath here. Okay, underneath the truck, you can see the drive line. It's really in the way of this plug, but I can reach up there, take that plug out. Now, what happened on the dash, water in fuel come across the digital readout on the dash. And so I plugged this out, let the water drain, and then I added, I think it was heat, the bottles of heat that will evaporate the water out of the system. Change your fuel filters. Drain this, change your fuel filters, put that in the fuel tank. But I'm thinking I'm getting the moisture out of my transfer tank whenever I use that fuel. And since that time, I've emptied that a couple times. I use it for refueling my tractors and all of that. Then if you look, there's, get a better position here. Pretty dark, but there's the cap. But you have the cross members Okay. So maybe back here you can see it. Cross members, skid plate for the transfer case, you got to work all the way around that. So if I take that long extension, put it right up through here, break that loose, and then pile you up a grease rag or shop towels on the back side, because the fuel will want to run down the rail and it'll run a long ways. But I've got my drip pan that I'm going to hopefully catch a lot of this spent diesel into. And anyway, let's get on with the program. All right, so I'm going to take this loose shop towels, try to soak up some of this as it's running out. Of course, I'm taking this small plug out. And there's no easy way to keep from making a mess and changing these filters. So actually I'm holding the drain pan up to keep it from splashing. It splashed all over my camera and my tripod. So I'm going to let this drain until it stops flowing. Here's what your plug looks like. Okay. And then the next thing is we're going to see if we can get into the video of that. You're not going to see the cap really well. I don't know how to do this. Okay, I've got the filter out. It snaps into the case or to the cap, and there's your liner on the outside. There is some dirty spots. I see some particulates right here. So it has done its job and is ready for a change. I'm looking down inside of it. You probably can't see, but there's dirty spots on that inside pleated filter material as well. So now what I'm going to do is reverse the process. And then remember, there was that little weep hole that you want uniformity. If you pull your filter off and you only see dirt in one side of it, look for that weep hole right there, because it's probably missing and not using up the whole filter. It's just using just half of the filter, half of it when it's stuck up in there. But that weep hole allows the full cavity of this filter to fill up with fuel. So anyway, I will put the new filter on there, take and fire it up. Now let's I'm going to pause for now, and then I'll show you the startup procedure that I go through as well to restart the vehicle after a filter change. You can't see it, but a lot of dirt inside of this. I'm going to clean this up good. I've got a Shrum tool. You could use a little pocket screwdriver, whatever you need to go ahead and pull this O-ring off as I dump diesel all in the back of my truck. So at this time I'm going to take some of my shop towels, clean this cap up. But anyway, wanted you to see that how nasty these filters get. So highly recommend, if you ever have fuel pressure problems, poor running Powerstroke motor, probably on all the diesels, first thing is go ahead and change those fuel filters out. Get rid of that potential problem that you have right there. And what I noticed, probably 20,000 miles ago, when I changed the filter, pulling a trailer up a hill, and then it would, just like it was losing power, and what it was doing with the fuel was restricted. And so I changed it out, and been running great ever since. But always look at the fuel filters being one of your first problems there. Change that out, eliminate that out of the equation, and then keep on trucking. Okay, we've got it changed. Now, I did not show as far as removing the one under the hood, that little filter. It's quite easy. But when you cycle the key, of course, you're going to hear the injectors rattle. And then, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but the sound of the fuel pump building up pressure. Check underneath here, make sure I don't have any leaks. I don't see any leaks. Okay, the fuel pump stopped. What I'm going to do is cycle the key one more time. Work the air out of the lines. And I still hear the pump. Let's start it. All right, that's all there is to it. All right, thanks for watching. Hope that helped somebody.